This is your parents' guide for Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Hi, I'm Michael Prince with thecussfamily.org and familytechblog.com. This is my parents' guide for Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Call of Duty has set the standard for realistic first-person shooter games for more than 15 years. 2019's Modern Warfare seems to be a tribute to the original games in that the story of the latest release is as good as any in every other Call of Duty game to date. The campaign mode takes you through the story through the eyes of a British, American, and Middle Eastern soldiers and insurgents who are fighting to free a country from a Russian general and his armies. The story is rich, and the characters include soldiers you fought with in different games, giving an instant buy-in and causing you to care about these characters from early on in the story. While the game does ask you to make some pretty difficult decisions, the realism is unlike any other first-person shooter game I've ever played, mostly because of the gruesome situations you're put in during the campaign. Overall, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, as much as the campaign is concerned, is one of the best games of 2019. I recommend it for those mature enough to play as long as you have a strong constitution. My rating system is based on the game's content. Online interactions in the game will always increase the risk of unwanted content. In my video game rating system, higher is better. So a 1 means it's adult with a capital A, all the way to a 5, which means it's safe for all ages. Call of Duty Modern Warfare scores a 7 out of 20, getting a 1 for violence, a 1 for language, a 4 for sexual content, and a 1 for positive messages. The ESRB rates this game M for mature, for blood and gore, intense violence, strong language, suggestive themes, and use of drugs. So now the breakdown. Violence is intense in this game. Explosions blow people to pieces. Every bullet hit causes a spray of blood that can be seen from far away. Hits to the head cause blood to stain. The ragdoll effect is used to increase realism, causing enemies to fall limply to the ground and fly through the sky when an explosion takes place nearby. Like many of the most recent Call of Duty games, there is an option to disable gore effects, but this option is in the settings and not password protected. If you set the gore settings to off, they can easily be turned back on without any trouble. Language. Call of Duty Modern Warfare is full of profanity. Every mature word in the book is used in this game in every mode of the game. Commentary from non-player characters contains extreme language, and obviously online multiplayer modes is likely to contain adult language from other users as well. The gore and content filter does turn off adult language from characters in the game, but again, it isn't password protected, and online play is not affected by these settings. There isn't much obvious sexual content in Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Early in the campaign, you interrupt a man who's abusing a woman. It's kind of hinted at from what she says that he was possibly going to abuse her sexually, but you kill him before anything happens. There are some character models or outfits that could be considered revealing, especially with cleavage in multiplayer mode. As far as a positive message goes, this didn't rate very high there either. Modern Warfare is honest about the cruelty and awful things that happen in modern war. It sets up the Russian general as an enemy, the UK and the US are heroes. The campaign story is very dark in places, and while intriguing and well performed, it's intended for adult audiences. This game puts players through situations that those who experience PTSD from actual combat often describe as what gave them their conditions. Kids who experience anxiety and anxiousness could seriously be harmed by the extreme situations in Call of Duty Modern Warfare. You could argue that the cruelty shown in this game can be a commentary on how awful war can be, but the fact that you spend 99% of your time in the game participating in combat kind of overshadows any lesson the game might be trying to teach. What parents should know. The most important information about the specific game is already been mentioned. I would, however, like to address something I often see while discussing violent video games and first-person shooters. There are different schools of thought on the dangers of violent first- and third-person shooter video games. Obviously, there are some who think they're bad for everyone, decreasing sensitivity to violence and causing people to act out. But there is little actual evidence to back up this opinion, but there are those who are always going to feel this way. Another group feels that these games are no big deal. They believe that playing games with violence and blood and gore can help kids understand the true danger of gun violence and lower the risk that they themselves become violent. Many will compare games like Call of Duty to other shooters like Fortnite by saying that Fortnite's too tongue-in-cheek. It puts our kids at risk because it doesn't take combat seriously enough. As the first opinion, there is little to no evidence supporting these ideas either. The only statements about violent video games that can be backed up by hard, viable research is that they can cause increased anxiety and adrenaline in children, and they can exacerbate attention problems in children who already have those issues. Also, that there's far too little research to outline the true effects these games have on our children. It may be difficult for parents to be okay with the fact that there is no obvious bad or good answer for video games like Modern Warfare. A lot of parents want me to just say, yes, your kid should, or no, your kid shouldn't. But the truth is, you have to know your child and their maturity level. You should watch their behavior and pay attention to signs like grades, relationships, diet, and exercise to be sure your child has a healthy balance between life and time on their screens. I'm Michael Prince with BecauseFamily.org and FamilyTechBlog.com. Please visit BecauseFamily.org/partnership to partner with our ministry as we help parents be informed so they can make quality decisions about raising their children in this digital, connected world we live in. You can also go to Patreon.com/BecauseFamily to support our digital content in that way. Thank you so much for watching and for listening. Again, I'm Michael Prince with BecauseFamily.org and FamilyTechBlog.com. We'll see you next time.